Okay, I am Max's Slight and welcome back to the tutorials for 7 Days to Die. Now, we've covered weapons, we've covered food, we've covered farming and all the other bits and pieces, base building, structural integrity, looting, combat. What about your base? Let's talk about some of the more exciting things, defenses and traps. Okay, so if we go into our crafting menu, we can see this tab for tools and traps. Okay, there are a bunch of these things here, loose floorboards. In this video, I want to show you the basics and give you some ideas. I'm not going to show you every possible permutation of every possible trap, but I'm going to show you a few things that I've used in the past and a few things I use quite regularly, and maybe spark some imagination in you and show you the basics. Now, there are, with Alpha 16, electrical traps, mechanical traps, and auto turrets and things like this. I will cover those in a advanced build. So for now, this one will cover everything that goes up to the mechanical stuff and the powered stuff. So we'll look at those first. So what we have barbed wire fence, log spikes, wood spikes, okay, and loose floorboards. Now those in of themselves are not that exciting, except let's have a look around. First up is the wood spikes. Wood spikes are the most basic defense you can make. They cost 20 wood each to make. You craft them in your inventory. And the other kind of spike is the log spike. Okay, it's confusing the two. This is a log spike, that's a wood spike. Wood spikes cost a little bit more wood. They do a hell of a lot of damage, but they are quite fragile, so they will be need replacing quite often. Log spikes, you can, let's put one down and show you. Spike like that, they don't do as much damage as their counterpart, these guys here, but they can be upgraded all the way to steel, which makes them quite durable, 10,000 hit points, and also they take a lot less damage. So it's a toss-up between if you want to cause a lot of damage or you want to not cause a lot of damage but have things that you don't have to replace and repair quite so often. So let's get to it. These are the basic spikes, the wood spikes. You can put them out in rows, as many as you want. They will slow down the zombies, especially when they're running. They will slow down a bit, but also they will do huge amounts of damage, smash out their legs, but they are quite fragile, as we've spoken. So ideas for these: you can put them on the surface like that. That's the most basic use. Or you can dig a trench and put them in so that the zombies will fall on them. Or you can do something a little bit like this, because we have something called loose floorboards. Okay, which are these things here, loose boards, and they are this. Literally, as they say on the tin, sorry, I'm going to have to go into cheat mode in a minute. I'm in God mode, so it don't actually cause much damage. I don't get damaged by the spikes, but here you can see I'm falling through the floor onto the spikes. Now that will obviously affect the zombie, but it's not affecting me because I have God mode on, I think. Or there's something wrong with this. But anyway, you can build something like that. That collapses away and zombies fall in and get spiked. Now did I put God mode on? Yes I did. There you go, now I'm being damaged. You see, as you fall in, and it slows you down as well. So you could do something like that. You could have a nice area where you walk along and suddenly fall in and get trapped. You can't get out again. And all the time doing more damage to yourself. So that's one idea. Let's get out of that one. Okay, let's move on now to the log spikes. I mean, you can use these in many ways you want, by the way. The wood spikes, just got to get the wood. Log spikes are more versatile. They can be buried, such as this. As I mentioned just now, they can be upgraded to 2 wood all the way up to steel. And these become quite formidable once they're steel and they're en masse. The advantage over the wood spikes is they can be placed on walls, such as this, and again upgraded. And these don't do as much damage, but they do slow you down. They do a lot of damage to the legs. Let's quickly grab myself some first aid, because I don't want to die. Right. So again, with the the log spikes, you can bury them. You can put them on the ground as an obstacle to them smashing your walls in, so they will attack the spikes first. And I can't get to that wall now without being damaged by the spikes. And as same for this one. I can't damage the walls of the base without getting damaged by the spikes. So that's, you can put them on the up so that they can't climb and so on. They are quite a versatile defense, and they are basic, just wood only. Sorry, I have an itch. I'll try not to itch my legs while I'm making a video, but there we are. Sometimes these must. So you have, let's get back to this, wood spikes, collapsing floor with an idea for those, putting these on the wall. Again, you could put a collapsing floor over these, whatever you wish. You use your imagination to make these useful. The next item is the barbed wire. Here, just simply needs iron, which you can get from scrapping metal things in your inventories, or melting down the raw iron and then using iron in the forge, and so on. You get iron, this stuff. Okay, you just make barbed wire. This is it here, and it can be placed, I've got to be careful because I have some down here somewhere, on walls, and it's a nightmare. It drags you, slows you down, and does damage before you can attack the walls. And there's another way to use this on the floor like this. You can see on the floor. Imagine running zombies are now walking and getting damaged by the legs. So that's very useful for horde knights for slowing things down. The other iteration of that is the barbed wire fence, which does the same thing, slows you down, makes it almost impossible to get away. So you could use some other method, maybe firing through or whatever. Use these in combination with each other, in conjunction. You can use them in between gaps to prevent them from coming through a gap, like so. Okay, that's barbed wire fences, and wood spikes and log spikes. Now, what can we do with these as a idea for togetherness? So, one of the major defences that I've always used is what they call a suicide box. This is a basic suicide box. That's a more advanced one. I'll talk about that in a minute. And all this is iron bars, which if you go into here, iron bars simply need iron and clay, which you make these in the forge. So you put your iron and your clay in, and you can have a centered one on the center of the block so it looks cooler, and there's a way in the center. Now this here is put up, this is again more iron bars put around the surface one at the top layer, because there is a zombie called a spider which can climb walls and you don't want them getting in above you. So let's see, there's obviously no ladder or door, and the reason for that is because zombies will target a door first. It'd be a priority. So you don't have a door on a suicide box. You can either dig a hole and come up from underneath and have a hatch somewhere where there's a tunnel, or this kind of method where you forget to jump in time and miss it and look really silly on a video. So, oh, really, dude? Do you know what? Sometimes I have moments like this in games where I just can't seem to tie my own shoelaces. So I'm going to put those in. I've put the jump pillar there. You should normally be able to jump across. Obviously I'm being a bit dipshit today, so I can't. And it's 2 gaps away, so the zombies can't run up it and jump onto there and get in. You can put a hatch on here, and they can't smash the hatch. Inside is a cage. Basically, if I press F6, let's put in, looking at me, a regular zombie. Zombie. Don't want any ferals or anything crap like that. Zombie Arlene. There we go. Hello? Okay, that was weird. She didn't get... That's very odd. She should pop out. Oh! What are they doing there? Don't want them there. Okay. Let's pop them out here. Hey. You're ruining my demonstration, woman. Right, so what we'll do, we'll stick these guys, we'll do a couple of these. There they are there. We'll do the cheat to get back in. And here they come. So the idea being you're inside, and this is, they can't get to me. Okay? But with the iron bars, I can fire out. Right, the reason I use iron bars is because they are quite durable. They've got about 2,500 hit points. But as you see with that, very simply, inside a little box like this, you can have this as a wall for your base, but remember, they will come around other ways. I always make a suicide box separate, so far away from my base, or reasonably far away from my base, so I can get in for horde nights and stuff like that. And the basic elements are the iron bars, a topping block, and a way to stop the spiders, which they're not actual spiders, but they crawl on the floor and they can crawl up buildings. And a way to get in that's not a door, so you can dig a tunnel in or what have you, use your own imagination. One disadvantage to the iron bars is that you can't loot from the inside. You've got to be in like that. Come outside to loot, okay? However, this is the 50 made up of pillars. Now you can get all different kinds of pillars. If I show you the pillar, okay, you can get a wood pillar 100, flagstone pillar 50. Now the number on it tells you how much of the square it's going to take up. So if I put hundreds in there, it would take up the whole square and it wouldn't be any good. But I put 50s in. Okay, I want to show you how tough these are. Now, I wouldn't use the pillar method until you can get really high, because look at this. This is the steel, and it's got 10,000 hit points on that layer alone. Okay. And we can take that all the way down. There's concrete and everything beyond that. So if you're just using wood pillars or stone pillars, they're going to get broken very quickly, because as you can see, being inside here, oops, I've made all of this out of steel, so it's a very expensive suicide box or box area, but in here I can shoot out again and I can loot. So let me just get out. You can make these as big or small as you want. We'll use one of those real quick, so I've been demonstrating all the spikes. We'll drop in a bunch of those. And here we are, they're coming at me. Get off the... There we go. So they're coming. And I can stand here as long... The disadvantage with these is if you get close, they will hit you. Whereas in the iron bars, they can't hit you. But the advantage is, if I kill off a few of these, See, I got stunned again. Right, the advantages come when I am stuck. So you'd make this one a bit bigger and have a better way to get in than this, because wait, it's a bit more difficult with the pillars. They take up a lot more of the square than the. Okay, and that was not me trying my marksmanship shot. I was just spraying and praying. The advantages to this design is you can loot from within, so you can keep on a horde night. You can keep it quite clear and not lose anything in the loot wise. So there's your two kind of really basic designs of suicide box. With this one, we're using the spikes to stop them coming up. With this one, we're using the iron bars to stop them coming up. The advantage to the iron bars being here is also that if there are zombies down below and you can't get in the suicide box, or for instance, one of the designs I've used on bases in the past, let me just quickly show you this. Defense wise, if you put these out, let's put that to face please. Okay, we'll stick a few of those out like that. Oh really? Copy the rotation. I'm still kind of new to that copy rotation stuff, so we'll just get rid of the. You see, the iron bars have quite a lot of hit points, so they are pretty good. I mean, I've got maxed out everything to mining, so it looks like they haven't, but they really have. Right, so let's do the same with the zombies actually. Pop in a couple more Marlines or Darlings. Right, she's going to come at us. We're going to drop onto our little base. So you can have, imagine you're having a door out here from your base, and there you are. You're above them, and they can't get to you. They can't hit you, and you can have this out. As long as you consider structural integrity, you can have quite a big area where you can get on top of here, and you can fire at them, but they cannot hit you. So, as a way on a random base, you can have a door going into your base with these or surrounding or just on a little area, or have these as windows. Remember, the zombies will attack 2 squares, and if you have only this square, let me find somewhere that's, no, that's not good enough. Oh, too late, did it. If you have only this square as your iron bar, like that, then any crawlers, when you're inside, you're going to have a hard time shooting, and they're going to carry on damaging your base. So that's why when I do a suicide box like that, I always have 2 layers of whichever block I'm using that I can fire out of. So that is the basics of base defense. Now we can get into the electronics and the traps and the guns and the electric fences and the gun turrets and so forth, but there's no point to that. It would take too much and be too much information in one go in one video. So really quickly to recap, wood spikes are cheap, simple, versatile, not very versatile to use, but very simple to use. You just put them down. You can make a more complicated trap with this collapsing floor. You can have the other option, which is the log spikes, which are far more versatile and can be upgraded quite highly on walls, ceilings, floors, trenches, and so forth. And then there's barbed wire, which is basically a slow damage and slowing down of the enemies. Those are the basic traps. Using those and some other materials, we can make suicide boxes or walls or firing points or bunkers, whatever it is you wish to make. And the designs are up to you, but these are kind of very simple designs I've thrown together for demonstration. And then there's the collapsing floor, which you can use over the spikes that I've shown you here. Or another favourite, which I haven't done here because it takes a long time to do, is a drop pit. And it is exactly what it says on the tin. You make a very large pit and you dig down as far as you want to. 20-30 blocks will do mostly 30 blocks will kill, most zombies as they fall, apart from the specials like the police and some of the ferals, etc. But if you have spikes down the bottom, they'll do damage. But if the spike has a body on top of it, it will cushion some of the damage to the next one falling on it, and so on. But you can have drop pits which do half the job for you, have spikes that do the rest, and just use your imagination. Go nuts with this stuff. You know, it's the basics are there, and these are the basics for trap design. You go ahead and figure out what you want to do with it. Okay, I think I'm going to leave this one here, and enjoy. Go crazy, kill some zombies. Ta-da.